There we go. Anyway, hey everybody, Mr. Weed here once again. This time, now we're getting ready to start the school year again. I kind of took the summer off, you might have noticed, to work on some other projects and to take it easy. Now we're getting back into the school year, and I've been asked by some of my colleagues to put together a document talking about different hardware and software that I'm using to teach music this coming year virtually. Things that are really just going to make my life easier. I'm not going to edit this video at all, partly to showcase the software that I'm also using to switch between cameras and things like that I will showcase at the end, just to kind of show you guys what it's capable of doing. So this is just one fluid video of me talking. I'll do my best not to stumble over my words too much. First, I want to start to talk about audio inputs. It's totally possible to teach music virtually with just a laptop and the built-in camera and microphone, and if that's what you're planning on doing, awesome. Go for it. You're going to kill it. It's going to be a great year. But if you want just a little bit of pizzazz to it, and maybe you have some money in your budget, maybe the building is able to buy you some equipment, maybe the district is willing to buy you some equipment, maybe you're not even a teacher or you're a private teacher and you just want to buy the equipment yourself. Here's a few things that I think can be really, really useful, okay? First of all, I want to talk about audio inputs. Audio input devices. Audio input devices are essentially external sound cards that allow you to plug in whatever you want into that thing and have that sound go into your computer. There's levels for sure. But if you're teaching something like guitar or piano and you have like a keyboard or maybe an acoustic or an electric guitar with that you want to be able to plug in and play for your students so they can really hear it clearly instead of just like playing near your laptop, audio input devices are the way to go because you can just plug directly into them. The sort of most basic one, some of the most basic ones, I really like this brand Focusrite. I have one of these that's in the background. I'll actually get rid of my face for now so you can see it in the background. I have one of these guys. I like it a lot. It's got two inputs. You could plug a mic and a guitar or a mic and a piano, etc. into it, and it would sound great. Right now, I have mine plugged in a weird way, but the main one I'm using is this guy, a little bit more expensive. This is a 12-track mixer, Behringer Xenix 1204 USB Premium. If I switch to my keyboard camera, you can see it over here. It's this guy. But it is a little more expensive. It allows you to do some cool things. I can have multiple instruments. In my case, I have my microphone I'm talking into right now. I have this keyboard over here plugged into it. And then I also, for when I'm recording things like tuba or bigger instruments that go up, I have this tall microphone at the top of my ceiling that helps pick up that stuff a little bit better. And I have it all right there. I can switch it on the fly. I can even add effects to my voice, which is silly and fun. But that's it. I can do it all on the fly, which is pretty cool. That's the one I have right now. The one that I am currently eyeing that I really badly want is this guy, the Tascam Model 12. This one is super cool because it does all the same things that my current my current mixer here does. But it also is it has a built-in 12-track recorder, so if I wanted to, I could pull it off my desk and take it anywhere and plug up to 12 things into it and record right there and then transfer it back to my computer or multi-track later. It's really cool. It's super powerful. Plus, it's just beautiful. It has that wood paneling on the side. It's very neat, okay? So that's audio input devices. That won't get you any sound because those are just boxes you plug stuff into. A lot of people go straight to buying USB microphones, which is a great way to start and has a low cost barrier to entry because things like the Yeti and stuff like that, the condenser microphones, are high quality mics. All you have to do is plug them in and they don't cost that much. It's nice. However, if you want to upgrade down the road, it becomes very difficult. Or if you want to plug in multiple instruments, things like that, also becomes difficult because you have no inputs. You're just using a USB microphone. So the advantage to buying a audio input device is regular old XLR microphones, the cost to quality ratio is a lot lower than generally than advanced USB microphones, so you can upgrade more easily in the future. I personally, for this kind of stuff, especially music teaching, especially if you're going to record anything other than a voice, like a brass instrument or something like that. I'm a huge fan of dynamic microphones. Everyone tends to head towards condenser because they do record voices very, very well, but they're very, very sensitive. So unless you're in a pretty sound isolated spot, it can be difficult to really isolate that sound. So it's fine for like Zoom and things like that, but if you're planning on doing any recording of it and you're in maybe a room that is like hardwood floors and the sound bounces around in it a lot, or if there's other people in your house. I used to use when we first started all this virtual teaching, I had a condenser microphone that I loved, but it would pick up my daughter screaming downstairs, and all these things. It was too sensitive. Dynamic microphones are very directional, and they tend to just sound good, honestly. So dynamic microphones are also what we use for performance microphones, right? They're very directional. They don't pick up a lot of sound other than exactly what you point at it. So the like flagship, performance dynamic microphone is the Shure SM58. And if this is where you start, it's a fantastic place to start. If you want to pick up voice, if you want to pick up instruments, whatever, it'll do the job. And it's pretty inexpensive, honestly. I'm going to skip to sort of the most expensive one that you might see a lot when you talk about dynamic microphones, the Shure SM7B cardioid microphone. This thing is a powerhouse. You can plug it into anything, you can talk into it, you can put it in front of a guitar amp, you can put it in front of drums, whatever, and it'll do a good job recording it. However, it is very expensive. The one that I'm using right now is a brand called MXL that I've used for a long time over the years, and I honestly feel like it's one of the like best bang for your buck mic brands out there that often gets overlooked just because they're a little cheaper. But I'm using right now the MXL BCD1, their dynamic microphone, which I've seen a lot of comparisons to the SM7B, and all of them have been pretty positive. So I've had this thing now for 6 or 7 months. I still love it. It's fantastic. Records instruments and whatever else. And any of these are just regular XLRs that you can plug right into those inputs there, right? It'll work great. And again, the advantage of having both the inputs is now, I can switch over to my piano camera here, and I can talk into this microphone, and I can play at the same time, and you can hear it both, and that goes both here in record a video, and also if I was in a Zoom call, which I will, if I was in a Zoom call. Anything that goes through my mixer will also go through a Zoom call. So that's microphones and inputs. Now, just quickly, cameras. I would very much suggest an external camera. You can get better quality. You can get better views. It's much easier if you want to, say, have it show your hands closely on a piano. It's not plugged in. Now I disable it. Or your hands on a guitar, things like that. And there are some pretty cheap options out there now, which, granted, I haven't had them for that long, so I don't know, maybe they're not going to last that long or something, but they're pretty cheap. And I have 2 of these guys right now, and I will put all these links in the description. I have 2 of these guys right now. I don't even know what brand they are, from being honest, but, look at the price, right? And they're exactly the quality I need. That's what this one is. Here, this gets my MIDI keyboard when I'm doing MIDI stuff. That's what this one is over here. Gets my piano, I'm doing piano stuff. And it's just, it's good quality. It's good quality, it's cheap, it's easy to do. The one that I'm looking directly in my face is this guy. I bought this last year, actually. I love it, it's fantastic quality. I don't know that it's necessary to spend the money on this now. I don't know that I would now, knowing what I know now, but it is a good webcam. Now I have one more that I don't have a great scene set up for, but it's my overhead microphone or overhead camera that shows the whole room, which is kind of cool if you want to show your whole process. If you're moving around, if I'm playing a tuba or something, this is kind of a cool view. But this one, the camera that I'm using for that one is vastly overpowered for what I'm using it for right now. It is this guy, the Zoom video recorder Q2N. The only reason I bring it up is because, yes, it's expensive. Yes, it works as a webcam. However, you might notice it has these big microphone things in here, like a lot of Zoom recorders do. This thing records incredible audio and high quality video. So, for instance, I have a drum kit in my basement. Um, I have big bass amps and things in my basement 2 floors away. If I want to record those, video and audio, whatever, I can take this tiny little thing. It's this big. It's very small, and take it down to my basement and just plunk it down on something and play. And the audio is great, the video is great. It's awesome, and it runs on AA batteries. It's fantastic. I mean, this thing I haven't had it since we have been out of in-person teaching, but I'm going to be bringing this to all my concerts and setting it up and recording concerts that way, all this stuff. So it is a cool thing, I think, for a music teacher to have. And really, for all the stuff it does and the quality, it is not a bad price at all. Not at all. Okay, last thing real quick. Let's talk about software and setup just a little bit. Obviously, you notice that that I'm just projected in front of my own computer screen. I do have a green screen behind me, which if you want to do that kind of stuff, you kind of need. But there are options. I know people who just hang a sheet. This thing behind me right now, and you can kind of see it in this, it's this guy right back here. You can kind of see it in that view. This guy is pretty cheap. It's like $40. Oh, it's up to 55 now. So, okay. I paid less for it, but still, it's pretty cheap. It's big, and it's collapsible into this cool little bag here, right? Which is, that thing is like this big, right? It's tiny. It's one of those things you just fold up, and then you unfold it, and it just unfurls right away, and it keeps itself nice and taut. And it's great, especially if you don't really necessarily have a dedicated space, and you still want the green screen effect. You can pop that baby out, even if you just prop it up on something behind you. It'll be great. There's also lots of other cheaper options for stuff like that. There are ones that attach right to the back of your computer chair, which is kind of cool. But it's something to do. Now, to get into, and this might get a little wacky here, a little bit of a thing, but the software I'm using. Here we go. Yeah, we get this big sort of echo thing. But this is called Streamlabs OBS. It's free. And it allows you to do some cool things. Down here, I'll get rid of my face. You'll still get the echo. But down here, you see scenes. And up here is sort of like what gets sent out to, whatever you're using. In this case, it's just recording straight into Streamlabs for me. But over here in scenes, each one of these scenes, you can edit what you want to be in every scene. So here's the piano one, and you can see, well, you can't see right now, actually. Here's the piano one. I'm just clicking through these different scenes. But like in this one, here's what's in the scenes. This is the camera that's currently turned off. I turn it on. There I am. Hello. This one, I can turn that off. It's just black. And then, hey, it's just me in front of a black background. And I can do all this stuff on the fly. And you can also do cool stuff. Like I have this one where I'm in a space station that I use for a lot of Zoom calls right now. I have this one. It's welcome to band class with Mr. Weed. Very cool. This hello one. Hello, I'm Mr. Weed. This one I use for, I teach a drumline class. So I put a drum pad right here. And I'll go like this and demo whatever I'm doing so they can see my hands and my face, which is kind of cool. And then I have this one for when I'm stepping away, or I use it instead of turning off my camera in Zoom because it's fun. So these different scenes are pretty easy to set up. You just click like new scene, or you can duplicate a scene, and then you add what you want over here. You click add, and it says like, oh, I want to add an image or a video capture device, aka a camera, or etc. And then you point it at what it's pretty easy to use. But what's cool about it is in the settings, there's a thing called, I can't really see if you can see what I'm doing very well right now because I'm overlapping so much, but virtual cam, and currently running, you click this button to start virtual cam. That means then in Zoom, if you, let's see if I can even just start a Zoom call right now. What's that going to do? Oh boy. Anyway, when I'm here, down here, I have this option, Streamlabs OBS Virtual Cam. Holy cow, this is some craziness behind me right now, huh? Wow. Anyway, psychedelic. I can choose that, and then anything that's happening in Streamlabs gets sent directly to the Zoom call, which means I can do all of this stuff I've been doing in the video, this quick switching of cameras, this, these different, you know, backgrounds and whatnot, all go through the Zoom call, which I like to do flashy stuff, so I feel like that's a little bit more entertaining. Anyway, this has already gone on too long. Again, I didn't want to edit it so you could see the switching of scenes and stuff like that. All of these links to these things I will put in the description for this video. Hopefully it's helpful. Either way, feel free to reach out with questions. Either way, I hope we all have a fantastic start to the year. We got this. All right? We will see you later. Thanks.